Boom, baby, we're alive, and welcome to season 2 of the Tokyo Crypto Show. It is me, Crypto OG MLD, and I've got a new team. Well, we're coming back, and we are doing my official redemption arc for what happened with those two people who will not be named ever. um, and we're here to tell you guys that crypto is definitely the wave of the future. It is not going anywhere. And actually, this team and we have been working behind the scenes since December with all of our research, and we have actually had phenomenal results. And we are just coming back and providing you with the highest level of value possible to make sure that you guys get educated and ideally make some profit in the cryptocurrency market. Obviously, this is not financial advice. Don't sue us. But that being said, we have so much value that we're going to be delivering to you on a weekly basis with guys who are in the field. The members of this panel, I'm not going to go into too much details, but everybody here has had significant success, significant financial success in the cryptocurrency markets. And we're going to be breaking this all down right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you guys, this is the team that we have here for you guys. And this is what I believe probably the most comprehensive team that we have on the market here for you guys. So first things first, I'll talk about myself. I'm MLD. I've been involved in cryptocurrency since 2016. We are currently in a bull market, and this is actually my third bull market. As you know, I launched the Tokyo Crypto Show in 2019, where we interviewed people like John McAfee. We helped people around the world earn so much money with the cryptocurrency market. And I am just going to be the leader facilitating this. We actually have one more person coming to the show a little bit later. He's unfortunately at a funeral. He is our deep crypto expert. And this guy he's a young man who's out there in Panama. He is a software engineer, and he's been involved in the cryptocurrency markets for a very long time. Anything you need to know about crypto, whether it's the NationFi narrative, the meme coins, whatever the case may be, he'll be talking about that. I'll just be talking about from a more layman's perspective in regards to cryptocurrency and how you can just not be so intimidated by the current market atmosphere and not really just get caught up with so much nonsense that's out there because there is just an endless amount of garbage. And I put together this team because I feel like, before we were just relying on somebody else, and they ended up just grifting a shitty token, and that caused a lot of people problems. And we are just not about that anymore. We are coin agnostic on this channel. We actually are coin agnostic, and so we don't want to be part of any kind of cult or any kind of psychotic following that is based around just bullshit, quite frankly. So I'm going to be the one facilitating the charge on this, and all these members have been personally verified by myself. I have seen all their results. I have seen everything, and we really have an amazing team. And first things first, I want to bring up one of the newer friends I've had in my life, and this guy, I have gone out to him and hung out with him in the Philippines where he resides. That is Mr. James B here. And James is a man who has been involved in traditional finance for over 20 years, and he holds a very high-level position in the traditional finance markets right now. We're not going to go into the details of that. But James, you want to give him a little explanation of who you are, what you're doing, and all that?
Yeah, my name's James. I have been in traditional finance for about 20 years, working with some big private equity companies, as well as doing some trading for stocks and crypto on the side for about 10 years. This is my second crypto bull run, and just like MLD said, glad to be here.
You're muted.
Yep, you're muted, John.
Next up, we have Elias here, and Elias is actually a guy who is you're currently in Russia right now, correct?
Yeah, let's say Asia.
Let's say Asia. Okay, sorry. Elias is facilitating one of the largest Bitcoin mining operations. He is actually on the ground with people who are in the actual mining of Bitcoin. And go ahead and give them a little bit of introduction about yourself there, Elias.
Yeah, basically my name is Elias. I'm in Bitcoin mining since about 2018, 2019, and we've gone live 1 year ago with a community mining project, and we want to bring Bitcoin mining to the masses basically and break the monopoly of big mining companies.
Phenomenal. Do you have that video? Are you allowed to share that video of that mining facility, or will like the KGB knock on your door and shoot you?
No, I can share. I can prepare for next time. I can
Okay.
prepare videos. We just have to blur the background to not publicize the location.
How many mining facilities have you personally been involved with facilitating and executing this on the ground level?
So far, 3 bigger ones, and our main location here in Asia. So 1 in Europe, 1 in Africa, 1 here.
Wow. And with the mining industry right now, obviously the miners came out a couple of weeks ago and said that basically the floor of Bitcoin right now is $60,000 per Bitcoin. What is the sentiment amongst miners right now?
It basically heavily depends on the electricity price they have to pay. So for European and US miners, because they have higher electricity prices, they are bleeding out a bit right now, especially mid-sized and smaller farms. So it's a bit hard, and we also see this in the selling pressure on Bitcoin right now. So as long as we stay below 65K, basically, many big operations mining operations have to sell their all their cash flow just to keep running.
And in regards to that, the sentiment, are they negative? Are they bearish? Do they think that we're basically the bull market's over? Because I know there's a lot of people crying about that on the internet.
No, they're pretty positive. So it's just a bump for them, and they're investing heavily. So all around the world, doesn't matter where.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Next up, we have our man, Mr. Alex, who is joining us. He joined us on the fly. Alex is a survivor of a certain group that will not be mentioned. Alex, I had the honor and privilege to meet Alex in Tokyo recently on his travels here. Alex is a great guy, and he is consistently trading and doing charting and everything along those lines. Alex, you want to just tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, this is my second crypto bull run right now, but I would probably just describe myself as a bit of a creative problem solver. I sat there looking at everything going, how can I actually make a run of, life? And discovered that if you do what everyone else is doing, you're going to get what everyone else gets. And I mean, we all live in the world right now. And I just kind of thought it's a bit bullshit. I can put my money in the bank and the interest rate I get off that doesn't even match the inflation on our currency. That's kind of bullshit. And so I was looking for higher growth areas, ended up in crypto, got big into trading. I'm trading every single week. I've made a lot of money, lost some money. Fortunately, I've come out in the green in a big way. If crypto's a high growth area, and if it was not going, I'd be in something else. So we're here because now's the time for crypto. I'm a big believer in cycles, patterns of behavior, patterns in the economy, and that simply by doing things at the time you're supposed to do them, life is very effortless and easy, and you can get ahead of a lot of people very quickly. And so that's sort of my approach here. I look at the charts, I look at where it's going, and if the chart's looking good, well, then it's the time for the chart to go up. We're all sitting here, and crypto sort of cooled off for a little while. But this is sort of just the sort of a little rest before we kick into gear moving into 2025. So it's a great time for people to be getting in. I'm not sure if anyone follows Bob Lucas on Twitter, but he's another guy who's big on cycles. So it's nice to be able to listen to someone, but then also have drawn your own conclusions and be able to find that, well, if we're both thinking the same thing, perhaps there's something more here. I definitely think it's really valuable for people to be doing their own research, keeping up with the market, forming your own conclusions, and not just blindly listening to something that anyone says. I mean, if you're on Twitter, you get shilled 50 new coins every single day. And the fact of the matter is, if you're not going to be paying attention, then crypto probably will wipe you out, because it is so much more volatile than traditional markets, but at the same time, traditional markets just aren't. They're just not enough how they're going. So it's great to be here. We're all doing. I think it's really great to have a network of people here, all sort of providing each other with where they're at and what their movements are and everything, and make sure that no one gets a bit too crazy. I find that when people start, you're checking the portfolio every day, that's generally a good sign. You probably should start selling a little bit of it at the very least. So it's really good to do it by yourself. You definitely will get caught up in the emotion of it, and that's going to be a disaster. A lot of the time, especially for trading, it's sort of you versus a composite man of the market, and oftentimes if you go with the market, you will end up getting wrecked. So definitely tune in each week, definitely keep in touch, definitely find your own network of people you can talk about this sort of stuff with, and make sure that no one's getting a bit, everyone's staying emotionally sound and in reality, because that'll be the make and break, especially in crypto. If you don't sell at the right time, it's all for nothing. But at the same time, if you don't buy at the right time, it's all for nothing as well. So great to be here and looking forward to having some more discussions and providing some value for everyone, and in doing so, keeping myself sharp. So great to be here. Thanks, John.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much. And Alex will be in his studio. He kind of came here last minute, but he'll be sharing his charting from the studio as well. And last but certainly not least, we have a new member here who's going to be helping the guys who are involved in the stock market, like Henry Dembski here. He says, what's the learning curve for crypto? I'm a stock expert, but new to crypto. Steve here is, quite frankly, a stock trading genius. And I personally have seen his portfolio and everything he's doing, and it is quite phenomenal. And I know a lot of people say that the stock market is not necessarily linked to the cryptocurrency market. James, would you agree with that? I feel like they are definitely related. They are certainly coupled, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's the liquidity, right? The money flow. So when people have a lot of money sitting on the sideline, that they're looking for a return that's better than a savings account or your typical government treasury bonds. So I think it's definitely linked, especially the NASDAQ market or the tech side still linked to crypto. What we're probably going to see is a little bit of decoupling, right? Because traditionally people think that crypto is a kind of a high tech, but now people are becoming more aware of that crypto is not just high tech, but it's more of a hedge against inflation and the fiat currency.
And so to build on that, Steve, I want you to tell the guys about what you do with oil prices, your success with multiple stocks, and if you want to mention the stocks, that it's up to you, because I know you want to keep that information private to a degree, but I do think that with how you analyze the market and how you read revenue reports and everything, I think it's so super valuable to give us a general kind of pulse on what's going on with the traditional finance markets, because I do believe it is to a degree related to cryptocurrency. So Steve, go ahead, buddy.
Sure. So what I tend to look at for my analysis is looking at bigger macro trends in economics and then trying to make a play from there. To give an example, in early 2022, before the Russo-Ukrainian war would break out, I bought into more upstream oil companies, such as, for example, ConocoPhillips and Occidental Petroleum, to give a few names. This was because as the regular price for Brent oil or WTI oil was surging, these companies would be the ones to be set to be more profitable. But history aside and past trades aside, what I sort of am concerned for moving into this bull run or this cycle and what could potentially mess it up would be excessively high oil prices, kicking up inflation in the United States. You need oil really to transact in anything. If you need to drive from point A to point B, if you need to deliver food from point A to point B, really get anything done. Even plastics are made from oil. When the price per barrel of oil is going up, that raises inflation for everything. So what this could mean is that this could further forestall cuts in the Federal Reserve's interest rates, which are very important for crypto, as we know historically. So right now, I am monitoring oil on a daily basis. Right now, it is up quite a bit due to uncertainty surrounding the Israel relations between Hezbollah and Israel and whether or not that fighting could break out into a wider conflict, as well as summer demand, which has historically always driven up prices. However, I would not see oil prices maintaining their current prices into the fall and winter periods. Thus, with those falling oil prices, we would see greater cooling in the economy and then thus give the Federal Reserve the breathing room that it needs to cut interest rates. And that, of course, would help support crypto. On the conversation a little bit earlier, I would say that traditional finance and crypto markets have historically been much more correlated than most people would normally suspect. To give an example, in early 2022, when they started raising interest rates, stocks such as Tesla and other related tech companies were crushed, as well as crypto was at the same time, because people saw crypto as a more speculative tech asset. However, as mentioned earlier, it is an increasingly more founded narrative, an idea that people would want to invest in crypto as if more it were gold, because the supply of Bitcoin is limited, for example. Major investment banks such as BlackRock have also been investing into it, as everybody knows, as a way to hedge against inflation potentially in the future. However, of course, we will be monitoring this with each and every month. Thank you.
Awesome. Phenomenal. What do you think, James? Does kid know what he's talking about, or what?
Yeah, I mean, just like Steve said, there's a decoupling between a crypto and tech market right now. And one of the things that people are seeing is that crypto, or people are beginning to understand, is that crypto is just not all same thing. Like Steve said, a Bitcoin is more of a hedge against the inflation and more of your kind of like almost like a digital gold, right? Then people are saying Ethereum is something different, more of a smart contract, right? Then you got other blue chips like Solana, then the meme coins, then the AI, then the real world asset coins. So people are beginning to see that crypto is just not all same thing. There's beginning to see a segmentation within the crypto market that people are saying, hey, this is used for something else. This is digital gold. This is smart contract. This is more of a, real world infrastructure type of thing. So we are kind of at a almost a early beginning of what we're seeing is a huge run up of a crypto market capitalization.
You're dialed in with the guys in TradFi. I mean, you live and breathe TradFi. You obviously hold an executive position as well in that industry. What's the pulse on TradFi looking at crypto? Obviously the ETFs, and we're going to be going in great detail to what an ETF is next week. But what is just the pulse on things in regards to how TradFi is viewing crypto? It's
still early. We are beginning to see some companies, because one of the big things that happened a few months ago is that the SEC and the government made a change in accounting rules where the companies, traditional companies, can now hold crypto in their portfolio as an asset and do a mark to market, which, if you guys don't know, which is that it's an accounting rule change, allows crypto to be held on the company's balance sheet at a current price instead of purchase price, right? And that was huge thing. If you guys don't know, please do search on YouTube. I think Michael Saylor, big Bitcoin OG, talks about it. It was a huge rule change in accounting that allows for traditional companies to hold crypto on their balance sheet and not take a accounting penalty, right? And we're beginning to kind of see a lot of the pioneers of traditional finance or traditional companies that instead of holding their liquidity or the cash on their balance sheet in a savings or high yield account, now they're kind of tiptoeing into like a Bitcoin or especially Bitcoin as their hedge against the inflation.
Mm.
So yeah, we're beginning to see a very, very early stage of that. And what people are seeing is that what MicroStrategy did, and it worked out really well for them, and they're kind of trying to maybe take on that strategy and start holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet.
Have you heard about Metaplanet out here in Japan? Who they are actually
Yeah, they're actually doing same thing as MicroStrategy, right? So they're buying Bitcoin OTC and start holding there on a balance sheet, and they're doing kind of same thing. And a lot of what the Bitcoin spot ETF allowed is that made the traditional companies to make it easier for them to hold Bitcoin on the balance sheet instead of having to start maybe a Coinbase or Kraken account, then buy the Bitcoin, then take it off the exchange. They can actually go with their traditional brokerage or the banks and buy the Bitcoin ETF, which made it a lot easier.
Steve, do you know anything about Metaplanet?
Very little. However, I do know that they've been performing rather successfully with the rise of Bitcoin. Similarly, they would trade to a similar level of success that MicroStrategy's stock would trade. However, I would have to research them further before giving an opinion
No
here.
worries. Steve and I are here down on the ground in Tokyo, Japan. We got an international crowd here. Peter Telford says, "G'day from Australia." Alex is our Aussie on deck, and we've got quite the international community here. Elias is German. He's all over the world, big balling over there. So okay, now we obviously have a decent first half of the year, I would say. The news kind of leaked to a degree with the Cointelegram intern in October. So for you guys at home, if you don't know why Bitcoin started to rip upwards with just absolute insanity, that's because there was information leaked that the Bitcoin ETF would be approved. Now, here's the deal. Now we're going to go a little bit down the fucking conspiracy side, okay? I knew that the Bitcoin ETF was going to be approved simply for one reason and one reason only: BlackRock, okay? BlackRock runs the fucking world, and BlackRock doesn't do something that's not going to be profitable. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt that Thanos himself, Big Daddy Larry Fink, when he snaps his fingers, big gay Gary Gensler, he has to bow down. Gary Gensler, if you guys don't know, he's head of the SEC, and he's been pretty anti-crypto. So a couple of things are been happening since October, and like I said, we created this team. We've had some comprehensive reports. Steve is amazing at writing reports, and all these guys, we have done some very, very heavy research. So the thing is, moving forward with the Tokyo Crypto Show Season 2, we are going to be heavily mathematically based. Everything is going to be backed up and verified by numbers and math, and no hopium, no, this shit's going to the moon no matter what. None of that stuff. We want to be very, very, very down to earth with everything we're doing. So we're going to be having mathematically based theories placed on the screen with us here. We're going to be showing you charts. We're going to be showing you everything. So we're doing our best to put as much knowledge into your hands so that you can actually turn a profit, because there are hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars being made every single day. If you guys are confused, if you're, don't know what's going on, you feel completely lost, but it's something that you actually want to do, you really have to understand that if you actually do the work and you do the research and you pay attention and you source data from experts, okay, you can absolutely make profit in cryptocurrency. It is totally within your power. And then also, another thing is this. You have to understand this, and this is a very kind of, everybody thinks that, they all say we're all going to make it, and crypto's this big rainbow party, and everybody's singing Kumbaya, everything under the sun. The reality is very, very opposite, okay? In order for you to make money, okay, cryptocurrency is a game of hot potato. In order for you to make money, someone else has to buy a cryptocurrency at a higher price that you bought, and then you have to sell it to that person. So last time we really didn't focus on the aspects of taking profit. Okay, because the number one thing that ruins you in the cryptocurrency game is greed. Greed and not doing your research. So I would like to highly recommend to anybody who's serious about coming with us on this journey. We're going to be here every week. We're going to see you through the end of this bull run, which we believe it's going to be ending approximately about a year from now, sometime in 2025. There's a book called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. I highly recommend you guys to read this book, because if you got burned in the last cryptocurrency market, probably was because you weren't paying attention and you thought it was going to go up to the moon. You thought it was going to do all this crazy stuff. And the reality is, majority of people without the proper guidance lost a lot of money in the last bull run. We don't want you to be part of the majority. We want you to be part of the minority that makes money, that walks away. You pay your taxes and you sail off into the sunset with, your profits, because it is absolutely here to stay. We're going to be talking about all these things and so much more. And I want to introduce one of the smartest guys that I know in regards to cryptocurrency. He has just joined us. That is Mr. Adam, the Crypto Chad himself, broadcasting live from Panama. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
How are you, man?
All good, all good.
Hey, listen, thank you so much for being here today. You are a veteran in the game. You have made some serious gains. I mean, this guy, I don't know how much detail you want to go into, but this guy took nothing and turned it into a lot of money. And this guy he's a personal friend of mine. We've been working behind the scenes, the Masculine Empowerment Network, since, was it 2019 or
no, early 2020?
Early 2020. And he has been dialed in. And this guy, I mean, anything that's anything in regards to cryptocurrency, I call him the deep crypto knowledge expert. And he's going to be working hand in hand. No matter what, you're going to see two people on screen at all time. It's going to be James B here to my right on the screen, and then Adam down here. No matter what, rain or shine, these guys will be here. I will be here. And remember, we work for you. So whatever you have, questions, comments, whatever the case may be, put it in the chat, throw a super chat, leave a comment. You guys know I love comments. I read everything. Our goal here is to help you guys out. We want to help you. And let's be honest, the only way we're going to help you is by putting money in your pocket. And that's what we're going to be doing here. Adam, if you want to just take the floor here and tell us a little bit about yourself, your level of expertise, and what you're going to be bringing to the Tokyo Crypto Show Season 2.
Sure. Well, my name is Adam. I'm fairly young. I got into crypto back in early 2020. Like Jonathan mentioned, I turned a really small amount I had saved up back in high school, and I turned it into over 6 figures over the course of a year. It's not luck necessarily. There is a process you can follow. It's not a magic pill either, but if you do your research and you take the necessary measures, you can definitely make a lot of money in crypto and reduce the risk of losing it by a lot. My area of expertise, if I would call it that, is educational. Like I consider myself very good at getting people new into crypto, teaching them all about wallets, setting it up, how to use exchanges, how to protect their funds, some beginner mistakes that they shouldn't do. And then once they get the hang of it, I tend to start introducing them into decentralized exchanges, using bridges, using different DeFi apps, farming airdrops. There's a lot of different types of activities you can do in crypto to earn money, but they depend. They will vary in level of difficulty, and each will depend on your amount of expertise and the amount of time you spend in the markets, because that will determine whether you do something right or you make a beginner mistake and lose a lot of money. So yeah, I like to help people get into that zone where they can go into their own ventures and discover new protocols when they're just launching, but not risk their losing all of their funds.
Great stuff. Great stuff. And then, like anything, I mean, dude, anytime I have a question, anytime I have a problem, whether it's with my wallet, whether it's with understanding different narratives that are happening in the cryptocurrency space, I like, Adam, you just know it's fucking phenomenal, man. Like you literally are the Crypto Chad. You're a genius. And we're just happy to have you here, man. You want to talk a little bit about your software background experience too? Because I mean, you're writing scripts, you're doing all these big things as well behind the scenes on the business side of crypto.
Yeah, well, I'll just touch on it a bit. I'm also a software developer, a crypto developer specifically. I've worked with protocols like Monsama. So I'm not only a user, I've also been on the back end, and I know how crypto looks from the developer side, what needs perhaps need satisfying, what are the potential narratives that can occur, and also I will consider myself a bit more keen and more aware to potential rogues because I know how you can do it. So I know what type of scenarios or what type of situations to avoid.
Yeah.
So it
Can you
gives a bit
tell
of an edge.
So when he says rug, guys, what that means is when developers will launch a coin, they'll collect a bunch of money, and then they'll cash out. The price will crash, and everybody's left with nothing in their cryptocurrency bag. So that's what he means when they say they got rugged. They pull the rug out from the investors. I mean, people who consistently do this are like fucking Jason Derulo. You know, Jason Derulo is like fucking done like 3 or 4 rugs. On X, they actually put a fucking community notes under him saying like, this guy's a verified scammer. So the rugs are real, man. The rugs are real, and we're going to show you guys everything. I want to just go ahead and thank you so much, Adam. So here's the deal, all right? I want you to judge us viciously. I want you guys to be the most scrutinizing, judgmental possible audience out there, because we really want to show you that we know what we're talking about. We're not going to whip out our wallets and put them on the fucking internet here because we're too busy paying all our taxes on them because the IRS is watching. Okay. But we are going to say that I just want to tell you that we are a show. Season 2 is going to be extremely educational. So I would, recommend that you guys go buy a fresh notebook. And when the Tokyo Crypto Show Season 2 comes on, get your notebook out, sit down there, take notes, and really know what we're saying, learn what we're saying, because hands down, we know what we're talking about, but we want you to be the judge. And if you're willing to do the work, analyze the markets with us, and eventually, we don't want you to be mindless, followers. We don't want you to be like, if we say do something, you just do it because, oh, that guy said do it. We want you guys to be educated on your own. We want you to become competent in this industry, competent in this field, because it is a lucrative industry. Yes, it is volatile. Yes, there are a lot of risk involved. And yes, the majority of people lose money in cryptocurrency, just like the majority of people lose money in the stock market. But the majority of people are stupid. The majority of people are lazy. And that's why they do that. So if you're stupid and lazy, then life is going to be hard for you regardless. But if you're really ready to sit down and edify yourself with this content, really take a moment, take an hour out of your week every day, sit down, take notes, see what we're talking about. We are very, very, very sure that we can help educate you in this industry and put some money in your pockets, obviously. So I want to go ahead and ask you guys a question right now, all right? And shout out to TX says, I'm liking the new show format already. For you guys that are watching, real quick, we have TradFi expert, over 2 decades of experience in the industry. We have a guy on the floor who is doing cryptocurrency mining, but Bitcoin mining specifically. Big companies are hiring this man to build mining facilities, okay? We're going to provide footage of that next week after he censors all the data so we don't dox anything. We have Absolute Genius with the stock market trading guy. Alex is trading day in and day out. And then also we have Stock Market Steve here, who's going to be looking and analyzing everything that's happening in the traditional finance market. Steven is a genius. He is a young man. This guy is going to the fucking top, and I'm very proud of him. He's also my personal intern who works with me day in and day out here in Tokyo, Japan. And last but certainly not least, the Crypto Chad himself, the man who, and I wanted to say something about Adam real quick. Adam joined the Masculine Empowerment Network and joined my community in 2020. And he said to me, you know what I want to do, man? I want to become educated in crypto. I want to become the Crypto Chad. I want to make a bunch of money. I want to change my life. And I've never seen somebody sit down and work so hard and really on top of that, he's a good guy. He's a good, genuine individual. I've met him in Tokyo, Japan. We've been working together since 2020. He has so much experience. He's actually working with these communities. A community coin called Moon Sama is a coin that he was working with. So between the 6 of us here, and we have more people that are going to be that we're working behind the team. We actually have a team of 15 plus people that are researchers that are behind the scenes with us at the Tokyo Crypto Show Season 2. However, with the 6 of us on your side, on your screen, teaching you every single week, we truly believe that we can absolutely educate you. And we want you to, like I said, I want you to be the harshest judge ever. I want you to be a very, very strict judge, because we are coming back. I'm coming back for my redemption arc because of the things that happened last time. They will not be mentioned. It is what it is. All I'm saying is I hope you're not holding any fucking hex, because take a look at that and you'll, I hate to say I told you so, but here we are. But anyways, that being said, we're going to go around the panel real quick, and I want to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, price projections, your personal theory on this. I'll open the panel. Go ahead and unmute yourself, whoever wants to go first. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm going to bring up an iPad chart here in a second, too. Actually, James B., why don't you just go first, brother?
Yeah, so I think, again, this is my personal estimate. What we're seeing currently is just a sideways action where Bitcoin is taking a break after a huge run up from about $30,000 a year ago to the new all-time high of 72, right? So what we're seeing is a little bit of break, and this break is actually a good thing, because, you know, as almost like a mountain climber, right? You don't climb to the top of Mount Everest by just all one shot. You have to kind of make a base camp as you go along and as you get higher in elevation. So my personal estimate is that Bitcoin will head somewhere between $120,000 to $150,000 by year end, and maybe between $250,000 to $300,000 by end of 2025.
Phenomenal. Elias, you're on the ground. You're with the miners. What's going on with the miners? What do the miners think? What's your predictions, your speculations, and all that?
Yeah, basically, we're watching Bitcoin price right now. Also, in about 24 hours, we will see another difficulty adjustment, which means potentially higher profits for miners. Right now, we are at minus 5% for the estimation. And more or less, we as miners, we have to be wary that we don't get too pumped, too hyped in any bull market even. Because if we invest too much, we will basically go bankrupt. So I'm more on the pessimistic side, but it's still looking good. And most likely we are pretty optimistic till at least October this year. And then we will start to really look into the charts, look into the ETFs, what they are doing. Basically, is BlackRock buying or not? And get more careful around October.
Interesting. Would you say your price prediction is?
Statistically, it's about 80 to 85K as the high. And this is the pessimistic statistic or conservative price we are calculating with and investing with. But of course, we are also hoping it will go higher. And in my personal opinion, it most likely will go higher, especially with the ETFs and TradFi joining the game.
Optimistically pessimistic. Very German of you. I love it. Adam or Alex, you want to go? Go ahead, but I see you unmute yourself. Go ahead, Alex.
So what would you like to know? Price prediction?
Price prediction, timelines, anything, just your overall perspective on the health of Bitcoin in the markets.
Well, I had a laugh. I've been away overseas for a month or so, and I came back and everyone's in the chat and everyone's all, my goodness, like, look, fear and greed, there's so much fear, everyone's really sad. And at the time, Bitcoin was probably 12% from the all-time high. And it was sort of like a year and a bit ago, this was like we did not have this level of fear when the market was down at $15,700 a year and a bit ago. And all of a sudden, when we're right at the top, everyone's all of a sudden, and for me, that's fantastic news. That means that everything is resetting, and we're setting up for the sort of the next leg up. I'm big on the cycle. So in terms of what price will we get to, I'm sort of just taking it a day at a time. I do believe we'll get over $100,000 on Bitcoin. I do believe that when it's the time for Bitcoin to make a high, the price will catch up and we'll get to whatever it gets to. So, there is sunny times ahead. Yeah.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much. Okay. Steve, I know you're not too much dialed in with it, but I know you're not really. And here's the thing, guys. On this panel, we're going to have people that disagree with each other, but that's okay. We're all men. We're all individual people. And, I'm not trying to have crack the whip and have anybody fucking just blindly follow me. I want people who are going to challenge me. Elias is constantly telling us to dump our alt bags. So, but like I said, listen, we don't want to, it's not about being right. Okay. We just want to provide you as much data as possible. And like how we individually make our decisions, we want you to, with a legitimate education, we want you to make your decisions as well, independently as your own man, okay, or woman if you're watching us and you're a girl. That being said, Steve, I know you've been doing this for a little bit now. What are your perspectives on everything?
So my current perspective is we need to be careful about the price of oil in relation to cryptocurrency, because right now much of the market consensus is that if oil remains reliably above about $91 to $92, this would be too much inflation for the Federal Reserve to reliably cut interest rates. The issue with this, and why it could be a potential issue in the future, is because a lot of these interest rate cuts have already been priced into expectations with crypto, as well as expectations with the stock market. I personally am projecting 1 to 2 rate cuts in the fall to winter period. So this right now, I don't currently identify as a risk. However, if people want something to monitor actively day to day, be careful and mindful if the price of oil remains sustainably above the $91 to $92 barrel range, as this would force the Federal Reserve's hand to remain hawkish. Aside from that, though, I personally remain very bullish on Bitcoin. We're seeing activity from the likes of Vanguard and BlackRock in having a willingness to directly invest into crypto through their ETFs. We recently heard about the Solana ETF in Canada, which would only, of course, add to that momentum. So personally, I remain and reiterate a bullish stance on crypto as well as Bitcoin.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then Adam, go ahead. Deep crypto expert, let us know.
Well, I'm a bit more optimistic than some of the other guys.
It's okay.
I tend to just try to keep it simple, and I know that Bitcoin usually tends to repeat itself, likely like for month to month. So, for example, July is usually a bad month, then August is usually a green month, and then September is usually a bad month. So I'm expecting in the immediate future for Bitcoin to just chop sideways, probably go a bit up in August, and then like fall hard September before potentially making a run up in late October, early November, especially with the US elections coming up, especially if Trump wins. I think that would make the markets go hard, irrespective of other factors. Of course, there could be stuff that would prevent this from happening, but overall, I've seen crypto like communities continue to thrive a bit, even though Bitcoin itself is not moving, especially GameFi. GameFi and SocialFi are two narratives that I've been following pretty closely, and what they've been able to do so far, at least, is that even if Bitcoin is dumping, they can at least hold up a bit their token prices tend to hold a bit before capitulating, because at the end of the day, Bitcoin drags the entire market. No matter how good your project is, if Bitcoin dumps, you are going to dump as well. But they've been able to mitigate how much they fall, and sometimes they can even like hold up until everything is gone. So yeah, I'm a bit more optimistic. As far as projections, I'm still sticking with my like really low 100K for a cycle top, like late last year, probably October, around that date. I'm guessing maybe 100 to 120 at most. I'm more than happy to be wrong, but yeah, that's my estimate with Bitcoin. As for altcoins, the world's your oyster. Anything can happen when everything is in full mania mode, and that's where we want to take the most advantage.
Yeah, and we were in full mania mode. I would say March. Yeah, I think March everything was just insane. I mean, it was just the all the narratives were going on. I'll give my take on everything. So statistically speaking, right, everybody has been forcing wanting Bitcoin to do something that it hasn't done historically. The only thing it has done out of its historical pattern is we have broken the all-time high before the halving. If you guys don't know, the halving occurred in what was it? It was in May, right? It was May.
April.
It was on 420. That's right. It was on 420. 420 was the halving. And so typically we see the most price action after the halving. I think it's like approximately 500 days after the halving is when we see the most price action. So I'm kind of in the same boat as Elias. I think that we're going to see Bitcoin kind of top out, I would say, within the range of 85,000 to 100,000. I do know that like the people that run the show behind the scenes, they know that all the normies, the masses, the people like you and I, we're hoping for 100K Bitcoin. But I will say a couple things in my personal opinion, okay? One, if Bitcoin smashes 100,000, we are going to see, in my personal opinion, we're going to see some of the fucking craziest times ever in cryptocurrency. I think we're going to see it's going to be insane. It's just going to be complete insanity if we get to that number. Two, despite whatever you believe about the elections, your political affiliations, whatever the case may be, if you watch the debate, President Biden looks completely incapacitated. And I think that we're going to, despite some fuckery going on in the whole election process, which, the 2020 election had a big asterisk mark next to it. If Donald Trump does get into office, I just remember in 2016, if you go back to the stock chart history, I remember when Donald Trump got into office, the traditional finance markets roared. Like the day after he got elected, they just fucking shot up. So I think that and he has all the momentum in the world right now. If he wins, we're going to see insanity with our markets, because I feel like to a degree, like the world wants Trump to be president again, because since Biden has taken over, it's just been, I mean, at home how your economic situation has been from 2020 until now versus 2017 to 2020 when Trump was in control. So that being said, I believe that we're going to be seeing bare minimum 85,000. James, you're in the TradFi industry as well, and you said a lot of the guys are kind of they're expecting Trump to get into office this time around, or?
Yeah, it looks that way. But another thing we're kind of seeing is that I think the Democrat side is seeing that a crypto army is a huge voting block, right? So as you've seen, since the Bitcoin spot ETF approval, there's almost like a pivoting from the left, kind of being more crypto friendly. As you saw, the Ethereum ETF just got approved, or is soon to be approved, right, in July. And there are talks of Solana ETF. And I think one of the person that was leading the anti-crypto charge was Elizabeth Warren. And she kind of got moved to the background. And now the incumbent government is doing almost a pivot to being more crypto friendly. So I am not sure who's going to win the election again, right? With all the craziness that's going on. But I think it looks good for the crypto industry that either party wins, we're going to get a more friendlier environment after November because of that, because they just realize that it's a huge voting block, right? And people tend to vote with their emotions and vote with their wallet.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care what your political affiliations are. If you just look at the Biden administration, it has just been a complete disaster. Inflation's been out of control. The economy has been so bad. Geopolitically, we're laughed at around the world. So I just think that the average American voter is kind of fed up with this. And I think that, you know, barring any fuckery, I mean, even right now, there's some of these polls, and these are fucking liberal polls. I saw the other day.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for the left, you know.
No, it doesn't look good. They actually had the projections. It was 358 for Trump. That's what they. This is a liberal fucking polling agency. Even New Hampshire, which hasn't gone red since 2000, is actually red right now, and Trump's ahead, like I think like 6 or 7 points. So we're going to be talking about some of that stuff. Steve is a real genius when it comes to looking at these polling data as well, because this is all connected. It's all intertwined. So we really don't want to leave any stone unturned. We really want to show you guys the total picture. And again, you know, here's another thing I'm going to tell you right now that none of these other crypto educating people or content creators can tell you. The reality is this, okay? And this is what's covered in the book, The Psychology of Money. Nobody knows what's going to happen. That's the truth. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I don't fucking know. Nobody knows what's going to happen. The only people who know what's going to happen are like the fucking Illuminati or fucking the elites or whoever the fucking people are who are
Big Daddy Larry.
Big Daddy Fink is Big Daddy Fink knows what's going to happen, which leads me to a chat question real quick. Then I'm going to talk about one more thing. Ralph here says, do we need to pay attention to BlackRock during our research? The answer is absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Okay. So like I said, we're just going to be providing you with endless amounts of data. And my personal thesis is this, which I'm going to show you guys real quick. Okay. Here's the deal. You need to look at basically 3 things. Okay. The first thing is you need to look at the health of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the alpha male of the market. If Bitcoin goes up, the whole market goes up. If Bitcoin goes down, the whole market goes down. So the number one asset you have to be paying attention to is the strength, the volatility, and the momentum that is controlling Bitcoin. If you do not do this, you are leaving so much data on the table, and it is only a matter of time before you get fucked up, okay? Number 2, the timing, okay? There are no fucking super cycles. There are no any of this nonsense, okay? Alex and I are firm believers in the 4-year cycle, which is very, very, very well done by Bob Lucas. Bob Lucas, we 1,000% advise you to check out Bob Lucas. That's BOB space LOUKAS on YouTube. He's a guy who's been doing this for a long time, and he's not afraid. And what James said is this too, like, because then, you know, like when you're climbing a mountain or everything, it's not going to be parabolic with no break. Like the money is a finite resource to a degree. If you want to go down the Federal Reserve printing thing, that's a whole other thing. But the money in our immediate access, it is finite. So it's going to take time. This thing has to chop sideways once in a while for it to either make a move up or down. And based upon the history of what has happened with cryptocurrency, the situation that's happening right now is not a bad thing. If it starts dumping, if it breaks down below, what do we say? If it breaks down below 50K is when you start to get a little bit worried?
Yeah, 49. I'm starting to.
Yeah. Okay. So then that's the thing we want to look at. But it's the big X factor that a lot of people just really leave on the table. Okay. And I kind of have this chart that I drew up here, but this is basically how we're going to work things moving forward with the Tokyo Crypto Show. So how it typically works is this, okay? So right here, this is this arrow in this side here, this y-axis is price, and then the x-axis here is time. And what typically happens is Bitcoin launches, right? And it starts going up. And then a little bit later, the blue chip alts, they tail behind Bitcoin. Sometimes this is price action based upon percentage. They typically go up. So your blue chip alts are something along the lines of Ethereum, even though Ethereum really hasn't seen that much price action. So I would say more of the lines of like Solana, Okay. Other smaller blue chip coins like that. And then lesser memes and alts are the red. And these coins, you can make so much fucking money. You could also lose a lot of money. And we're going to be doing an episode on meme coins because I think a lot of people just look at meme coins as a joke. But if you really just peel back the layer of like how the majority of crypto is indeed an actual scam, the memes just kind of cut the fucking vaporware bullshit in the middle. They say, no, we don't need a white paper. We don't need this. This is a dog with a hat, so fucking buy it, and they just skip the middleman, and they're all people in there trying to make money. And it's aggressive. It's PvP, which is player versus player. And it's a dog eat dog world out there. But this is typically how things work in the current cryptocurrency cycle. So we are looking at everything from, bird's eye view, and based upon the data from previous bull markets, right? We're probably going to see the majority of the price action sometime in, I would say, late December, early 2025. That's my personal theory. If Donald Trump doesn't get into office, then I think like the whole world is going to be like, yo, what the fuck? And I just think sentiment is going to be bad because, there's just so much chaos going on right now and instability in America that it's just going to add more flames to the fire. But if he does get in office, if things are, locked and loaded, I personally believe we're going to see, because I think the world is ready for a comeback. I think Americans are ready for a comeback. I think that people are just kind of starving for a competent leader and somebody who's going to do something. And then, it looks like Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be his VP. And then you're going to have two billionaires, guys who fucking built billions of dollars on their own, running the country. You think things economically are going to take a shit? Most politicians are incentivized to spend. When you're a business owner, you're incentivized to spend as little as possible to make as much money as possible. That's how you effectively run your life. You home right now, even you run a profit. All your bank accounts are not at zero or negative or anything along those lines. And that's just the problem with the government, because, if they don't spend all their money, then their funding gets cut the next year. Nobody wants to get their funding cut. So there's a big collective of data here that we have to just analyze day in and day out, because this does change on a daily basis. And I think, though, with the team we have here, we're providing you with probably the best shot at making things happen. And by that, we mean get money into your pocket. Anybody want to say anything in closing here, guys?
May I go?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
So on the note with government spending, the US government has now gotten into the habit of spending roughly $1 trillion into deficit every 100 days. Their plan most likely is to not actually pay that off, but rather similarly from the late 40s to the mid 50s is to just inflate away the debt, which means to inflate away your purchasing power. Guys, please get into investing. Please get into this asset research. It's going to be more important than ever to be protecting your purchasing power and your returns. So thank you for following us on the show.
Thanks so much. Anybody else want to say anything in closing here, guys? Anything we may have forgotten, left out? We're all good. James, you want to say anything?
All good here. I think this will be a great journey for next a few weeks here into 2025, and it'll be very interesting times, guys. Hopefully, it's not how much you make, right? It's how much you keep.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex?
Just quickly, I would say if people pay attention, even with a very simple Jack strategy, and we'll go into different strategies that people can adopt in their own investing, but even with a very simple Jack strategy, as long as you go with the trend and the momentum, you will make money. So go where there is the momentum. I see a lot of people from time to time, and people talking about all sorts of different coins. The coin that shall be not named, brought up earlier, and people are still like, oh, double down. The price is low. We'll buy. But until such a time that the price has shown it wants to go up, just don't be there. And so if you just do that, the price is heading up, everyone's positive about it, momentum is there, you will make money. Conversely, if the price is going down, you either want to short it, but once again, if you just want to avoid all forms of leverage, then you just don't want to be there in the first place. So when it comes to buying, especially if you're going for altcoins or things like this, definitely keep in touch with this show, because you don't want to be dollar cost averaging into something that's in a terrible downtrend. But at the same time, there are many things at the moment, especially like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, that are sitting at very good levels to invest a new tranche in for sort of the coming up. We may have sideways action for a little while, and that's totally fine. If anything, it gives the market time to sort of reset. Very healthy, very normal. So keep in touch, because you can absolutely change your life in the next 12 months on this.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And anybody else? Good to go? Go ahead, Adam.
Sure. Just to add, my biggest advice for anyone new or old, really, don't get desperate. Like, really, there's nowhere does it say that you have to make X amount of moves or have to try to time stuff. Usually, actually, the less moves you make, the higher the likelihood of keeping your money. So really, don't get desperate. If you didn't catch one coin, you will probably catch the next one, but don't chase it, because you cannot force it. You just have to position yourself correctly and trust in your strategy. Just stick to it. Don't keep up changing, or that's a guaranteed way to lose everything.
Yeah, James has been blasting a quote into my head. James, I'm going to butcher the quote. Can you tell me what's the quote you always tell me about making money? And because people always feel like they need to take action, they need to go and they need to go buy this or sell or buy or sell, and all they do is just ruin their bag. Well, who was the quote by?
It's a guy by the guy named Jesse Livermore, right? He wrote this book called The Remnants of Stock Operator. It's almost been like a Bible for a Wall Street and the trading industry. Quote is that the way he made the most money is the setting still, right? Not trading your capital away, but just sitting still, being patient. That's the way he made the money, not buying right or selling high or buying low. It's the setting and waiting.
Buy and hold. I mean, yeah, if you look at it, like, people who bought NVIDIA back in the day, if they would have sold in like a quick 10% profit, I mean, like the majority, the NVIDIA is having a huge problem right now because all the people that bought stock options in 2014 are all worth $10 to $20 million.
Oh yeah, all the employees are quitting because they're quitting multimillionaires now. So they can't find people to work there anymore.
It's absolutely hilarious. So that's what we're going to be doing for you guys here, man. I just do think that this is a valuable time. I also believe that this is going to be probably one of the last good bull runs. I feel like this is like a kind of a last hurrah, really. I think we're going to go into kind of a crypto winter after this. So I thought that this is a great time to bring value to you guys and put more money in your pockets, because here's the thing. Even if you don't, because we're not saying become a day trader. We're not saying do that. Okay. All we're saying is that cryptocurrency is here to stay. BlackRock has purchased an ETF for Bitcoin, the Ethereum ETF, which everybody thought was not going to get approved, got approved. I knew it was going to be approved from my just common sense of like, look, BlackRock runs the world. Okay, they're going to fucking get this shit approved. They haven't even started onboarding money into that yet. It's going to be happening sometime. Is it in this month sometime? Because I remember
this week or next week. I think early July. They said, yep.
So we're going to start seeing some massive inflows. Ideally, I know Grayscale has a lot of ETF Ethereum that they're going to be dumping off. So we're probably going to see a dump at the beginning. And if you guys don't know what an ETF is, what we're going to do next week, we're going to tell you guys what an ETF is, who are the major players in an ETF, and why buying and selling of these ETFs absolutely is connected to the price of Bitcoin and upcoming Ethereum. And I just think that if the Ethereum ETF does see some solid results, we are going to see a Solana ETF. We are actually extremely bullish on Solana. I think we're all collectively bullish on Solana, except for Elias, right? We all are. But I think that. Are you? Okay, great, phenomenal. Because I think a lot of people don't know this, that Solana is actually the number one used chain in the world. actually, if you add up all the transactions of every other cryptocurrency on the planet, Solana still dwarfs them. I think Ethereum is kind of becoming the silver to Bitcoin's gold. Ethereum technology is dog shit. It's old, it's outdated, it's slow, it's centralized, and it's just, I think they're kind of just looking to get ETF status and kind of become like a stable asset, and that's what they're going to kind of go for more of a financial side. Ethereum is just dog shit, quite frankly. The fees are too high. The chain is so hard to work with. They're not really working on any L1 solutions. They're all just working on L2 solutions. We'll cover that as well. But next week, we're going to talk about what is an ETF. And then the following week, we're going to provide you guys with a free episode on all these tools that you can use at home to start getting competent and educated on cryptocurrency yourself. Because last time in 2021, with that bull market, there was all these crazy, bulletproof portfolio fucking predictions and all this garbage. And if you just ran the market cap numbers divided by the coins, you'd be like, these numbers are unachievable. And it would have taken you literally less than 10 seconds of research to do that. So we're going to show you how to fact check other people who are full of shit. And that way you don't be a victim in their fucking money grab, because that's all it is.
Yeah. Like John said, we're trying to provide you guys with the process, right? Trust the process. So not just what to do, but how to do it. So you guys can make your own educated decisions.
Awesome. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions on how we can help you, leave a comment in the comment section below. We're going to be here back tomorrow with Interview with the Man. But until then, Tokyo Crypto Show Season 2, you see the cast here. And remember, we work for you. Let us know how we can help you. Until then, peace out.